Shalom. We are SKP, Sovereign Kingdom Prodigies, and Yahtrell Ministries, welcoming you to learn with us and praise with us. Let's go!
SKP and Yahtrell Ministry. SKP and Yahtrell Ministry. SKP and Yahtrell Ministry. Learn together, praise together. Learn with me.
Praise Yah.
Praise with me.
Praise Yah.
Learn with me.
Praise Yah.
Praise with me.
Praise Yah.
Learn with me.
Praise Yah.
Praise with me.
Praise Yah.
Learn with me. Praise with me.
Adam and Eve. In the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. And he made a garden in Eden, where he placed the man he had formed. Yah formed Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And Yahuwah Elohim said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him, as his counterpart." And from the ground Yahuwah Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the Shamayim, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called the living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the Shamayim, and to every beast of the field. But for man there was not found a helper for him as his counterpart. So Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. And the man said,
"This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. This one is called woman, because she was taken out of man."
"For this cause a man shall leave his father and his mother, and join unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed. And Yah commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die." Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah had made. He said unto the woman,
Did Jehovah actually say, "You shall not eat of any tree in the garden"?
And the woman said to the serpent,
We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but Yahuwah said, You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.
But the serpent said to the woman,
You will not surely die. For Jehovah knows that when you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like Jehovah, knowing good and evil.
And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, and she took of the fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made loin coverings for themselves. And they heard the sound of Yahuwah Elohim walking about in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahuwah among the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam, and said to him, Where are you? And he said,
I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself.
And he said, Who made you know you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I commanded you that you should not eat?
The woman, whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree and I ate.
And Yahuwah Elohim said to the woman, What is this you have done?
The serpent deceived me, and I ate.
Yahuwah said to the serpent, Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock, and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat, all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. And unto Eve he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. And your desire is for your husband, and he rules over you. And to the man he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. And sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. And Yahuwah Elohim made coats of skin for the man and his wife, and dressed them. And Yahuwah Elohim said, See, the man became like one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Then Yahuwah sent them forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence they were taken, and he drove the men out. And he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to guard the tree of life. Though Adam and Eve left the garden, their story teaches us the importance of obedience and the consequences of our choices. Yah's promise of redemption, as foretold through his prophets, reminds us of his mercy and the hope for restoration that lies ahead for all who trust and obey him.